Welcome to the Building Blocks of Financial Freedom. My name is Kyle Nathaniel. All right, last time we got together, we were talking about making a budget, the benefits of making a budget, and how having a budget can ensure that we achieve that one main goal, which is financial freedom. Because when we have a budget, we are in control of our money because we know what's coming in and what's going out. And I said next time that we got together, what we were going to take a look at is the different ways to budget your money. So there are going to be different ways to budget your money based off of how you're paid. Now, you might be paid weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or even commission based. So you want to always find the most effective budget for you to ensure that all your bills are getting paid, that you're able to save, and that you're able to stay in the best place of mind, which is stress-free because your money's working for you, right? So in doing so, let's dive in. Let's take a look. So the first thing that we're going to take a look at is we're going to take a look at the monthly style of budget. So this would maybe be for somebody that's working a job that only pays once a month, or they might be on a fixed income such as Social Security or retirement or things of that nature. So this is where this one's going to come in handy. So just like we talked about before, we're always going to track all of our expenses down to the last penny. Even that $1 expense that we have coming out every month, we track it and we put it on the budget and we total up our expenses. And then once we have those expenses, what we do is we come up here and we say, okay, I'm making $3,000 a month. I'm going to subtract my expenses of $1,600, and I see I've got $1,400 in excess funds, right? So simple, right? Simple to track the budget, not too hard, right? Now, what is a good rule of thumb that I always recommend with any budget that you do is that you use what I call a bill pay account. So what a bill pay account is, it is a personal checking account that is separate from your personal checking account. So for instance, my money all direct deposits here into my personal account. From there, I calculate all of my expenses and I see that I've got 1600, and I move 1600 to the bill pay account. And all of my bills come out of this bill pay account and not out of my personal. That way, this 1400 in excess funds, I can keep it here or I can put it in the savings, and I don't have to worry about any of my bills dipping into this or me overspending out of this or something and dipping into my bill money because they're separate. And you never run into that issue anymore of, oh man, that payment withdrew out of the account late, because it's all over here, and the money that's over here is just sitting waiting to be withdrawn for the different bills, right? So we're good. So along with this monthly budget here, what another good time to use the monthly budget is if you're on a commission based job. So if you're like a car salesman or something like that where you get paid commission, using the monthly budget is a good way to go. Because what you're still going to want to do is you're going to want to still keep track of all of your expenses like we have here. But the only difference is that you're not going to have that set income that you know for sure every month. What a good rule of thumb to do with the commission based job is to take an average. So what you want to do is you want to total up all of your monthly incomes from your job over a 12-month period, 6-month, 3-month, whatever, and divide it by however many months you're totaling. So if you did, okay, I've been paid this much over a 12-month period, I take that and I divide that by 12, and whatever I have, that's what I'm going to track as my monthly income. This will give me the most accurate and most level set for me to budget with in order to figure out a good estimate of what I'll have every month as my excess funds. Now, let's say you've just started a commission-based job. You may not be able to take that average. So what you want to do starting out is you want to keep in mind what your expenses are. That way, this will be your goal every month. And then when you exceed that goal, you're good. Anything you have left over are your excess funds, right? But you know for sure that every month you've got 1600 that you need to pay in bills, right? Also, with the commission-based job, you want to try and avoid any unnecessary expenses. Just try and avoid it until you get level set and comfortable with generating that commission, right? Simple. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to flip it and we're going to take a look at the bi-weekly and the weekly type of budget, right? Now, the concept for a bi-weekly and a weekly type of budget are very much the same because we're breaking apart from that monthly budget, right? So what we want to do is we want to track when we're paid. So we're paid on January 1st and January 15th of every month. Now, what I like to do, and this is just because it makes it to where there's not so much expenses every paycheck and it spreads it out a little bit more, is I take my big expenses like my rent or my mortgage, my car payments, maybe a personal loan, whatever that may be, and I break them apart on my different checks. So for a bi-weekly, I have a part one and a part two. On a weekly, I might have a part one, part two, part three, and part four for those bigger amounts. And what I do is, if you remember, I've got my personal, and then it goes to my bill pay. So what I do is I take this part one of rent and I put it into the bill pay. And then when I get the part two and put it into the bill pay, everything's good because it's all sitting in the bill pay. And I don't have to worry about by accidentally dipping into the part one because it's in the bill pay. And I'm not using my bill pay to pay for anything other than my expenses. My play money, my excess funds, all of that stay in either my personal or my savings account, right? Now, another good rule of thumb with a weekly or a bi-weekly type check is you always want to use a calendar because the calendar is going to be your best friend, right? And the reason is, if you know that your electric withdrawals on the 12th of every month, then you don't want to put it down on the January 15th check. You want to put it down on the January 1st check. That way you ensure that you've got the money to cover this electric bill when it comes time to pay it. And you're not scrambling over here because you forgot it. Make sense? All right. So let's wrap it up. Let's conclude real quick. So the first thing that we know is that accurately tracking your budget will ensure you the most savings. If you're not doing it accurately, you're not going to save as much money because you're stretching yourself too thin. You know, if you're putting too big of an expense on one check, you're taking too much out. You might be hurting yourself. Or you might be trying to pay a bill too early. Yeah, you know that you could put this electric down on this check for the next month, but now you've got to hold it and you might forget about it in the bill pay. And then you might say, oh, well, I've got this extra money in my bill pay account. Let me just go ahead and put it in the savings. And then it comes up to pay the electric and you say, oh man, I forgot. And you're just making more work for yourself when it's not necessary, right? Also, if you're new to commission, again, keep a goal of what you need to make every month in order to break even. Then anything you make over that, great, excess, right? But you'll always be in mind that I've got to make $1,600 every month. Now, once you get comfortable with making commission, bam, that'll be a thing of the past because then you can average what you're making every month, right? Last, but not least, because I want everyone to remember this so that you don't give up on the budget. Budgets take practice in order for you to become really effective with them. I remember starting out, me and my wife would make a budget. Everything would look good. We got money we're saving. It's great. And then, bam, we left this off. Or bam, we left that off. And we're leaving things off of the budget, you know, that we just forgot about. Those smaller charges. And it was just making things tough. And we're like, how are we ever going to get past this? As we kept practicing, as we kept sticking to it and staying with the budget and not giving up, we became effective with it. Now we don't have that issue anymore. Adding in the bill pay account lessened things, made it to where we didn't have headaches anymore of things withdrawn by accident or delayed withdrawals or anything like that. And now life is simpler. We stick to our budget. We know what we've got left over in order to save, in order to splurge, in order to buy things for the kids, whatever the case may be. We've got it because we're budgeting our money. We're in control of it. We know what's coming in and we know what's going out. And we're on that pathway to financial freedom. And you can have it too. And that's why I'm sharing this with you, because I want all of you to have this information as well. So I hope you got something out of this video. Please feel free to drop a comment. I need all the feedback that I can get. Drop me a like. Let me know what you thought. And please subscribe for more content that's on the way. Again, my name is Kyler Nathaniel. This is the Building Blocks to Financial Freedom.